to the Poison Counter podcast. This is episode 6, I think it is.
That sounds right.
Yeah, we'll go with 6.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Joel. Got him.
Fuck. I'm Jacob.
You got parried, Jacob.
I did.
Gotta be faster.
Yeah.
Or we should come up with a set order.
I think we all had like set order we wanted in our heads.
Yeah.
We just assumed it was all the same.
Basically.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Poison Counter, the podcast where a bunch of friends who love magic talk about designing new sets based on wacky themes.
That's our slogan, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ikoria. What do you guys think about it so far?
I like it better now that I've played with it.
I do too. I didn't look at the previews that much, but I saw some kind of goofy things. I forget. What was Ben like griping about, or what was the biggest thing that he was?
He hated keyword counters.
Oh, those are fine.
It's just so like easy. It's not exciting. It's not what I want to do when I think like my own monster.
It was always supposed to be a workhorse mechanic anyway.
It doesn't like super excite me or anything, but I think it's good for like bottom up set design kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't like the idea that there's other IPs mixed with Magic.
Oh.
Like all the Godzilla cards.
Yeah.
Even though they're just like alternate skin, promos, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who would have thought that they would have like just thrown Godzilla in there while they were at it?
I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have called that ahead of time.
Yeah, nobody.
I see what you're doing.
Okay. Just trying to be clever about it.
For people who are listening to this for the first time, our last episode was about Godzilla cards.
And also Ikoria.
We were like, what do you think is going to be in Ikoria? I don't know. But let's talk about what if Godzilla was in Magic the Gathering. What would that look like?
I lost my mind when I saw the leak of the Godzilla promos, like on Reddit or something. I could not contain myself.
The teasers we got about Ikoria were kind of, it sounded like it was just like Leviathans and like giant monsters of some kind. We didn't get like a whole lot initially, right? So it sounded like we're just like, oh, it's like Leviathans. Is it just going to be an all blue set? Like we didn't know what other kind of terrestrial things. I don't know. I actually really like that this set has, like, they took a lot of like high quality of life mechanics and kind of just jammed them in there, like cycling and I guess hybrid mana and like kind of high fixing. Like they put in like the Triome cycle, but also the gain lands. They just threw those in there as in like land slots, right?
I like the fixing's really good. On draft, one of my better drafts, I was playing Jund, which isn't even like color combination that is supported.
Well, it's not like explicitly supported.
Yeah.
I feel like the shards aren't like actively bad to play. Like I have a Bant deck going right now, I think, and it's fine.
The hybrid mana helps a lot.
They also printed like Fertilid.
Ooh, Fertilid.
Fertilid is so good, dude.
Yeah. I was like, Fertilid's in this set. Just gonna keep playing green. Also a lot of the removal and like so a lot of the commons and uncommons are like generally just strong. Like there aren't a whole lot of duds, I think. Like there's some combat tricks or whatever that are kind of shitty. But like ram through or whatever it is, the trample fight-ish spell.
Ram through is so good.
I love that card.
The red card with like an eyeball on it or something that deals 3 and then lets you put a card back to draw a card.
Fire Prophecy.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just like a lot of things that I'd be excited to see in like a cube draft or something. What's your favorite like common from the set? I really like the mole, the trample mole that mills 3.
Favorite common?
Yeah, or uncommon, whichever.
That is a good question.
Favorite uncommon, hands down, The Trumpeting Gnar. I will pick that card every day.
Wait, which one is that?
It's the blue-green one that makes a beast whenever it mutates. Yeah. Favorite uncommon.
I really like Whisper Squad.
Yeah, Whisper Squad's real sick.
A funny story, Jacob. When they revealed Whisper Squad, I was trying so hard to break it. I was like, oh my god. If you mutate onto it, you can go grab whatever you mutated. 2 mana. And then
First, you stop it from being a human.
and then someone, I think it was Ben, was like, that's a human.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, okay, here's what you do. You get back, you put it in the yard, and you get back with Liliana, Death's Majesty. It's a zombie. It's like, no, it's still a human.
Yeah, I think Whisper Squad is my favorite. I think the one that I've liked playing with the most is Lava Serpent, actually.
Oh yeah, that card's really good.
Which one's that?
That card has been great. 6 mana for a 5/5 haste in red, and it has cycling too.
Oh yeah, that guy's cool.
I got one. Well, I say one. I played the Possibility Storm for cycling. I forget what it's called. Unpredictable Cyclone. When you cycle a card, instead of drawing a card, you just flip cards from the top until you get to a card that matches a card type, and then you cast that card without paying its mana cost. That card's really good when you have a bunch of 1 mana cyclers that are creatures and lava serpents.
Oh, that is very good.
Yeah,
So it has to share a card type.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't necessarily like fix it so you always get a lava serpent, right?
Right. Yeah. But like, I think I had a Space Godzilla in that same deck, also known as Void Beckoner.
Ooh.
The 8 mana 8/8.
Oh, the Death Touch one.
Yeah, with cycling.
That's really spicy.
Yeah, it was definitely. I did not do that well because I was so like all in on the cyclone.
It's not a problem with that. I have found, at least on Arena, I feel like it's very easy to flood out, and I don't know if that's just because if you're playing enough cycling cards or something, you want to
cut down on lands depending on how many cyclers you have. I've only played like 3 drafts, I think. Like, I think 2 of them I had enough cycling that I went down to like 16 lands. One of them I was like debating going to 15 just because I was like the cycling deck. I don't know if that's good. Somebody who's better than me, Frank Karsten, will do the math.
I think 15 could be right in like a aggro deck that has a lot of cycling, because I tried to play aggro with 16 lands and I still flooded out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting on like a bunch of the like human payoffs and then like, I don't know, like a cathartic reunion or something, then you might be able to go to 15.
I think a lot of it's just like, or having games go long and just drawing like 5 lands in a row.
So far, my most successful drafts have been, I should say my most successful draft was non-creature spells matters deck.
Mm-hmm.
I had two of the Pyroceratops that gets a +1/+1 counter and has trample whenever you cast a non-creature. And then I had a couple of the like rock slides that deal damage equal to your lands, and then a couple of Spell Eater Wolverines. That card hits hard. I looked at it and I was not super impressed, but it's pretty great to be able to just like cycle something dorky to give it double strike at instant speed.
Yeah, I forgot that you can just cycle away your like instants and sorceries at instant speed, or just whenever, or even just play your 3rd instant.
Mm-hmm.
Change combat. That guy's troublesome.
I don't know how good is going to be like the in-person drafts, because it's going to be so much harder to just like wheel everything you want to wheel.
Why is it different than like the new player drafts?
Like with a bot draft, you can kind of figure out what the bots like. You can kind of know after you play enough like what is gonna wheel, and get really greedy with your drafting, and just have these crazy decks. I had just like this crazy run of like 4 7-0 decks in a row in Theros, just because like I knew what was going to happen because I had figured out what the bots were going to do. And you just can't do that with people.
No, you cannot.
There are a lot of wild cards that we draft with regularly. Even if you like something should wheel, theoretically, it may not.
Bots don't just like decide before the draft that they're going to force an archetype
Or flounder a bunch.
Right. And they're not going to like people are both going to be better at and worse at drafting than a bot.
Yeah.
In the same draft.
Like if a bot opens a inspired ultimatum 3 and they're like black green, you're not gonna take that and then go Jeskai.
Right.
But people might.
Insert segue here.
Jesus.
What is
is that for your editing? You like
Yeah. We'll go with that.
Okay. I was trying to think of a topic for this episode, and I kind of thought it would be fun to do a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure themed set, specifically like season 3 onwards.
But Spencer, why would you do that?
Okay. The third season, Stardust Crusaders, is when they introduced stands, which is like, it's like the series is like poster child, bread and butter, like that's what the show's about. It's like how Pokemon are in the show, like are in Pokemon. If they named it stands, like it would be the same thing. If that was the name of the series.
It's about stands, yes. It's the non-human companion thing.
Yeah. How much of JoJo's have you two experienced?
I watched the first like episode or 2 of the first season, and then I'm like 6-ish or 7-ish episodes into Stardust Crusaders. I kind of just skipped the rest of the first few seasons because I don't know. I didn't want to watch them. Maybe we'll go with that. I have a general idea of what happens. It's something like, I don't know, there's like 15 generations of JoJo, and then Dio's still a bad guy, and then you end up at Stardust Crusaders. Can correct me if I'm wrong.
You're like almost right.
Okay.
You're just right enough.
I'm up to the part where they sunk the orangutan boat.
What about you, Jacob?
I have seen probably 0 full episodes of the show. I'm aware of it purely through memes.
Perfect.
There's actually a really good one I saw recently. Maybe I can like throw it up in post, but you know the meme of the dude walking towards the other dude? You seen that one? It's like, oh, you're approaching me. You seen that?
Yeah.
It's just the still of one dude walking towards the other dude. Like really like dramatic. It was that, but it was Animal Crossing. It had the villager walking towards like a tarantula. And it was just, I don't know, it got me good. I think I've showed you, Joel.
I was like, I don't get it. I don't participate in either of these medias.
One of my favorite things is like jokes that are so niche that there's maybe 5 people that think it's funny. Like that's like when you layer the memes on each other, like the point where like it's so specific. That's my favorite thing. Okay, so you guys, you know of the show, you know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I did the minimum amount of research to be able to talk about it somewhat intelligently.
That is all we ask of you.
If you guys were in the JoJo world,
Mm-hmm.
what would your stand be? Like, what's its name and what does it do? Or do that in the other order. What does it do? What's its name?
Do you have something ready, Jacob? I can have something ready.
You can.
I'll stand deflects.
Oh man.
Flex the spotlight.
Deflects responsibility.
Jeez. My flimsy logic is my stand is kind of I hesitate to say opposite of me, but complementary to me. So the Wario to my Waluigi, in a sense.
It's just a little fat man.
just a little fat man, Danny DeVito with a mustache. He's good at fighting. That's it.
Fights. That kind of fits. Like there's a lot of those that just fight.
Yep, really angry, good at fighting.
Your stand is just a fat goblin.
my stand is Cranko Mob Boss.
Perfect.
He can make exponentially large amounts of children.
No.
No, not just picture Wario, but if he was in JoJo.
Okay.
I don't have a name for him, unfortunately.
Oh man, the name is like the best part.
I spent probably 30 minutes a day for the past week trying to think of something, and I just was like, fuck.
Okay, I'm gonna throw something out there.
Go for it.
If it's Wario, is your stand literally Wario?
Oh, no, that's not... I was...
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say your name could be Gold Digger.
Ha!
Wait, why?
Wario
Because that's all that Wario cares about.
likes money.
Good. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was lore behind Wario.
Oh, absolutely.
He had a game.
I knew that, but it was just a bunch of mini games, wasn't it?
No. Man, we got to segue real quick into some Wario history because the series of games starring Wario are some of my favorites of all time. So initially, Wario was just like evil Mario because people are tired of Bowser, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So Mario had a castle. Wario steals his castle and then kicks Mario out, and he's got to go find the 7 golden coins to get back into his castle. So after that, people were like, Wario, we want a Wario game. So then you just played Wario, and it was a more of a puzzle platformer instead of just like go to the right and then you'll win at the end.
Right. Once you get the most right. Okay.
Right, yeah. So you had to actually like walk around and explore a little bit, and they gave him like a lot of wackier powers that were tied to his hat. They kept that a little bit in the later games, but so Wario Land was Super Mario Land 3. And then they made Wario Land 2 and Wario Land 3 for the Game Boy Color. Wario Land 3 is an absolute masterpiece. I would highly recommend playing it if you have a chance.
I'll have to look at it. You said it's kind of like puzzle.
Yeah.
Puzzle-y. That's cool.
Yeah. You have like each stage kind of has like a theme, and you have to like use the abilities that you have gathered so far to like figure out what to do. And different things unlock different areas, and the map screen is like the tiniest bit dynamic. So it like you'll find a lever in one of the levels, and you'll pull the lever, and it'll open this gate to like drain this lake, and like it'll show you on the map screen like the lake draining.
Oh, that's cool.
But like it's on like a Game Boy screen, so it's not like, you know, mind blowing or anything. But it's just like there's a lot of attention to detail in it, and it is goofy as all get out, and I love it.
I was gonna say it sounds a little bit like Legend of Zelda, or like the main Zelda game I've played is Minish Cap, but like you'll do something and then somewhere else in the world or somewhere else like nearby, like a gate will open or a waterfall will like stop.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that.
Okay.
You'll like run past this like big oven or something in one of the levels, and like you can just kind of jump over it and keep going, and then you get to this ledge that you can't stand on. And like when I was a kid, I was just like, I can't jump up it. How do I get there? And I just like was stuck on that one part for so long. And then I accidentally figured out that if you do his little shoulder charge into the oven, it moves. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have to push it over to the ledge.
But you figured it out on your own.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. One of the boss fights, you play soccer against a rabbit, and he turns you into the ball if you lose. Another one is just like a robot with a springs for legs and a big old hammer, and if he hits you with his hammer, he turns you into a giant spring and you just go flying off. It's just so like goofy and whimsical.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds cool. I'll have to look into it. Got time now to try new video games potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole point of every Wario Land game is to accumulate as much like treasure as you possibly can.
I like it.
Hence the name Gold Digger.
Gold Digger. Oh, I see. Okay, that's how you got to your stand. Gold
Right.
Digger. The fat angry goblin.
So basically, stands have like an ability, and then they have like a naming convention where it's like usually a band or like a song name
Mm-hmm.
that like relates, like very loosely sometimes, but they don't originally, but like later on, that's basically how they work. Yeah.
There's a character named after the band Steely Dan.
I see. Is it just Steel Dan or something, or Steely?
No,
Dan?
it's
The Iron Dan.
it's just Steely Dan.
There's a stand named Red Hot Chili Pepper.
I hate it.
There's also Oingo and Boingo are two different characters.
I see.
Pearl Jam,
Mm-hmm.
Kenny G.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I came up with a name while Jacob was explaining his stand, but I can't figure out how to make it.
Tell us what it does.
Okay, so the Rick and Morty episode where they meet like the Avengers knockoff people.
Huh.
There's a guy whose power is just summoning a ghost train. So it's that, but it's a ghost bear, I guess. Like it's just a spectral bear, but it's got the same powers as a large bear. And maybe there's a lot of them, I'm not sure. So it's a large spectral grizzly bear that is as strong as a grizzly bear, like a very big one.
Does it also have all the powers of a ghost?
We'll say sure, but it usually
Is it a one mana 2/2?
maybe. I don't know how it works, but it's maybe more. Oh, it's not an illusionary. It's not an illusory bear.
Phantasmal bear.
Yeah, it's not a phantasmal bear. It does not go away when you target it or like look at it.
Got it. Okay. It's a spirit bear, not an illusion.
If you stare at it or like target it, it just hits you instead of dispersing.
Got it.
The best I came up with for a name is like Grizzly Spectre. And I don't know if that's a magic card or something else.
Grizzly Spectacle is one.
Grizzly Spectacle. This is just Grizzly Spectre. It just hits you or eats you or something.
Okay. So you're Lone Druid from Dota 2.
Basically.
I'll take your word for it.
There is the Gummy Bear song.
What?
Gummy Bear song? It's just this like meme song from middle school. Your stand could be Gummy Bear.
It could be Gummy Bear. I don't hate that, but I don't.
Or, okay, this is very JoJo's, but your stand could make a big bear, medium-sized bear, and a little bear. And it could just be called Goldilocks.
Yeah. I like that too. And like they fight as a unit. We'll go.
You can make 3 bears.
Papa Bear Smash. Like they have signature moves that they yell out?
Sometimes. Originally they do. They like name their stuff, yeah.
Okay, but it's not always. I'm pretty early in where they just use their signature move a lot.
Yeah. Basically nothing is like set in stone.
Okay. No, I figured that out once they were like, it's a monkey and his stand is an entire cargo ship. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, this will be JoJo spoilers. At least for season 3.
What's your stand, Spencer?
All right. I've thought about this for a long time. My stand, it can make mouths. Just imagine Toothy, like from Pure and Toothy.
Okay. Pure and Toothy, the movie.
I can make like mouths from lines. Like if there's a line can open up and be a mouth, basically. So it just makes like disembodied big like monster mouths on everything.
Mm.
It has to be a line.
That is
so
very alarming.
Isn't that upsetting?
Yes.
So my dude or whatever would wear like striped clothing so they could like.
Oh god. He could just bounce all over his body.
Wow.
It's like the Yu-Gi-Oh card where it's just a guy but has eyeballs all over his body, except it's mouths. And it's way more horrifying.
That relinquished?
No, well, maybe.
Oh, Thousand Eyes Restrict.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of characters that do eyeballs.
Yeah, it's like a lot of eyeballs, but they're mouth. Basically, Croxa. If you look at Croxa, the Black Red Titan, every orifice, every like little detail of it is a mouth.
Oh.
Like, it has teeth everywhere.
I don't think I want to look at it that hard.
A little Easter egg for you.
So
the name of my stand is Trap Queen.
All right.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Oh, you could have him wear a sports jersey. Or something. No. I was gonna say it has 1738 or something.
That would be like that would totally just be written like on its forehead or something.
Oh god. Does he have a forehead tattoo? Or he has like an eyebrow tattoo.
Maybe. How's Fetty Wap doing? I haven't.
President Fetty Wap?
I don't know. I haven't heard much about it.
Okay.
About him.
Yeah, I've just had that in my mind. The whole reason this episode is so I could tell the world.
Right. So you could release your OC character.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That was a good warm up.
I do like that fits with like a lot of the JoJo characters just looking like ridiculous or being very like crazy looking. I guess that's any anime, but
the JoJo series just has a certain style to it, a certain like coolness. Like things are the way they are just to be like cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very like specific style and I love it. Anyways, I was thinking it would be cool. Think about like what would stands be like in Magic? A quick rundown. If you've never seen JoJo's, don't know what a stand is. Basically, it's like a manifestation of like your inner like power. Starting off, so when the series started, it was like original JoJo's was about like vampires, and then in the third season, Stardust Crusaders, they added stands, and they based them off of the tarot cards, TAROT.
Oh, tarot cards, yeah.
So they based them off of that. So there was just going to be like 13 of them or something. And so like naming conventions, those stands, there's like Hierophant Green and the Fool and the Empress, stuff like that. So that was like how the original stands were named. And then I'm not sure how they picked the powers, but each stand was like really represented like the card it was named after. I don't know. They went real deep into like the like star sign, horoscope, like astrology thing. But then they're like, as you keep watching, he just throws all that out the window. It's like none of that matters. Basically, it's like
now I'm just gonna name them after bands and songs.
Basically, he's like, you know what would be cool if one of them was named freaking Pearl Jam.
If Born This Way was a stand.
Oh god, do they do modern music?
Yeah.
Do
Oh no.
he's got to keep making them. Basically, like, it's like Shaman King. If you've ever heard of that anime, it's just like a spiritual, like, avatar, like spiritual, like representation of like powers, and like you can fight with it. So they all have pretty like wacky abilities.
I forgot about Shaman King. That's a throwback. I only saw a little bit of it, but it was very anime. I feel like JoJo just takes all of the biggest shonen like anime tropes and just like stuffs them into like a very kind of over the top package.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Like the show is
Yeah.
very over the top. I think it does even like little things like people just like eating food get way over the top. And
Yeah, also every dude is ripped. Like I don't remember seeing any background characters that are like a normal sized like dude that's just like never been to the gym.
Yeah.
if you're a main character, you're like Johnny Bravo size.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
It's the way to describe how the dudes look in the show.
Nice.
And some of them are like high schoolers.
Yeah.
Gotta love anime logic.
I was thinking best way to like represent a stand, or like best way to like have a stand be in Paper Magic.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want them to be planeswalkers, but like you can't cast it. Like it's not in your hand. Like you can't play the card that is the stand. You have to like play the human, the stand user, and then maybe ETB or whatever get stand also. It just comes into play from wherever.
Oh, so you have to have the stand user and the stand, or like have the stand somewhere.
Yeah, so like kind of how maybe how companions work. Like maybe you have the stand
Right.
in exile, and you just go get it.
I'm not gonna lie, it feels like a mechanic that lends itself towards Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I haven't really played Yu-Gi-Oh any kind of recently, but I know they have like the extra deck.
Yeah, that's where all like the fusions go.
Yeah, but you can just like have conditions met and like get a guy from your extra deck and he shows up. And they also have like attachments. That's kind of the idea I was thinking, is like they're kind of, it's like a totem armor thing maybe, or some kind of bestow guy where
Like mutate.
yeah, also like mutate.
Topical.
Yeah, could be like mutate because what is it? Is it if the stand dies, the user doesn't necessarily die, but they get like real messed up?
Typically, if the stand takes damage, the user takes damage.
Right.
That definitely sounds a lot like Meld to me.
Meld.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's them fusing or whatever?
Meld was when they flip over and then they're
They're double face cards, and then like there are only 3 Meld cards, but there was they're the 2 angels, Bruna and Gisela, that flipped into the big Eldrazi. There was Hanwar Battlements and whatever the Hanwar Garrison, and then they flipped into Hanwar the Writhing Township.
Yeah.
Something like that is kind of what I'm picturing, because that way they do like take damage together. They do something by themselves, and then you have a big card to put a bunch of stuff on if you want.
yeah, it's like the people are just people usually, and then like stands have all the like crazy abilities. So that's why I was thinking like you play a creature and then the creature summons like a planeswalker. Planeswalker like has all the abilities, and stand cannot exist without human like being in play.
Right.
Like if you kill the creature, the stand also dies.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. There was champion. Like it's not quite the same or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But that was you remember the lore when mechanic champion, it was like champion of and then a creature type.
Yeah, and then you would exile the creature.
Yeah. and then when it goes away, your original guy comes back.
Yeah, that was actually so. In MaRo's article about Mutate, he said they were using Champion kind of as an inspiration for Mutate
Really?
because Champion didn't play that well.
You're like, what if we did this but better?
Yeah, it's like you literally can't play your card if you didn't have the thing in play, and that was like kind of messed up.
It's the one that makes it hard, but it's like
Yeah,
the champions were
Flavor-
like very aggressively costed things, but you had
Right.
to like trade in a guy, or you had to pawn it in the guy.
flavor wise, they didn't like make a whole lot of sense in Magic, but like for stands, it would make sense. Gameplay wise, it's a little wonky. Especially if you've ever played with it, like it is very awkward.
Like you're thinking, it's like the stand would come out, the creature would go away, and then when the stand's gone, the creature comes back.
Yeah, like it doesn't completely illustrate it. I don't know how often, like in JoJo's, the human person is like actually in danger when their stand is out. Like they are technically in a lot of the things, but like it feels like a pretty close analogy, maybe.
Mhm.
Have you played or seen cards with Champion, Spencer?
Yeah.
But
Back in the day, I remember the fairy that just like taps all your lands.
Yeah, Miss Bindclick. Yeah.
yeah, for those who don't know, we're gonna like talk about the thing and then explain what it is. That's how the show goes usually. Champion, usually it's like champion of a creature type, so like champion for elementals or something. It'll be like a pretty strong like elemental creature, but you have to like exile an elemental when you play it, I think. And then once your champion creature goes away, you get your original or the elemental that you exiled with it back. But it kind of like holds it hostage or whatever in the meantime. I don't think champion exactly illustrates it, but I think something similar to that where like it kind of attaches to your original creature and like protects it or like kind of holds it off to the side while you have like a extra strong guy. I don't know. It feels not very or like in the spirit of JoJo for you to like you have the guy and then you have the stand. Your opponent just kind of doomblades the stand user and makes the stand go away.
So yeah, my thought with that was like if a stand is really like problematic, there's like counterplay and just like killing the user.
Right.
That might be better for like if it was a set, that might be like better for the game, but maybe less so on like favor.
Right.
Yeah. Not something we have to worry about at the moment.
What was your idea again, Spencer?
Okay, so maybe you would have a stand in your sideboard
Right.
or an exile. Maybe it's revealed, maybe your opponent doesn't know what it is until you play it. But basically, you would cast creature, the stand user,
Mm-hmm.
and ETB, they would bring the stand in play. They would both be in play. Stand, I want it to be a planeswalker,
Mm-hmm.
like have planeswalker like abilities.
Right.
And then if the stand dies or if the creature dies, they both die.
You could use some templating like Soulbond probably to just keep them tied together.
Yeah. What do you think of them being sort of like do you remember the Herald kind of, I don't know if that's what they were called, but like the Herald creatures from Shards of Alara, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The ones that were like, if you have a specific creature and you like meet some kind of condition, you like go through your deck and find like a big mythic haymaker boy and put it into play.
Yeah, I remember that cycle.
Oh yeah, like Angel's Herald.
Yeah, there was Behemoth's Herald, Demon's Herald. There was a Sphinx, I think, right?
I don't remember. I just remember the Jund lets you get a dragon.
It could be like that. There could be like special conditions to meet. That's kind of like some of the stands are like that. They don't just work. They have to fulfill some condition. And others are literally just dudes that punch a lot.
Wait, do some of the stand users have to fill conditions to do things, or is it just like they're better? Like the sea guy is better and has like a fish stand that's better in water or something.
Yeah, so like the monkey, like he might have to be on a boat, like in water, his stand to actually be useful. There's one you haven't got to that only works if like you can injure someone. So like you have to manually like, cut someone. Then the stand can like do things. I was just thinking the base level condition could just be ETB. It could be like you have to fulfill some thing, get the stand.
I don't know if I like the card A gets stand B or whatever, like specifically named guys.
Yeah.
It feels
a little goofy.
It's very like Yu-Gi-Oh, where like a card will get like another specific named card that's like in their tribe or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it works.
Right, but it's like yeah, that's the thing. It's not very in flavor for it to be like
can't just go grab a random stand.
Yeah. I'm okay with like some kind of like maybe it's in like a blue stand user gets like a blue stand specifically. Like it doesn't have to be like any stand, but it doesn't have to be like a specific stand. Like are they just legendary dudes that get like crazy legendary stand planeswalkers?
At least that's the theme of the show. Like that's just how it works.
Coming at it from like a Magic set design thing, it feels like you want to have like at least like uncommon or common level stands or stand users that just go get like or like a generic big boy stand or like flicker boy stand or something.
Yeah, there could possibly be like generic like unnamed stands. Like new stands that you make up or whatever.
Or maybe like a what is it? A rare like legendary stand user can get like a specific really strong stand or any blue stand or something.
I feel like this is just we're like edging closer and closer to partner territory.
Basically, like you're partners.
Yeah.
You just have like your stand partners with your whatever. Maybe this is something that fits better in like a commander set than a standard one.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I like that.
I'm just trying to think like what's the best way to like represent these things.
I feel like the closer we get to partner, the more I like it.
Stand user partners with stand and can grab it from sideboard or whatever outside the game.
Yeah. I want to throw one more idea out. You know the occasional green creature that will like animate a land, and then or like the artificer that like animates an artifact as long as it's in play.
Yeah.
What about something like that? Or is that less exciting?
That's less exciting to me than partner.
Yeah.
There's probably a stand that could do that.
Like usually it's just like an apparitional thing, right?
Usually it's like a humanoid thing that is made by a human, but like there's such a broad spectrum. Like one is literally a gun. Like
what?
Like there's a dude, his stand is a gun. When he shoots it, he can like curve the bullets.
That's wild.
Like you were saying, one is a boat.
Yeah.
The user is a monkey.
The user is
like an actual ape.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how they introduced that. Like that was one where I like kind of saw the twist coming a little bit. I was like, that monkey's the stand user. He's the only person on the boat. And then the boat starts killing people. And I was like, the boat's probably the stand. I don't know.
There's one of the cooler ones from the series. It's the stand user is a bird. It's a hawk or a falcon. It's one of those.
I really like that they just threw in animal stand users.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's like bird's name is Pet Shop. And its stand is just like can control ice. It can like make ice like appear and do crazy things.
I like it.
Just a bird.
Yeah, it feels like it did like a villain general. It randomly rolls like a niche or like an identity, and then also a superpower, and that's how they made like the stand users and stuff.
Basically, I wouldn't doubt it if he just like threw a dart at like a wall of words.
Yeah, maybe the animators being maybe a sub theme or something, so that you can kind of have like overlapping mechanics in the set. But if it's like just a commander set, then you don't necessarily need that, do you?
Not necessarily.
There could just be one that does that.
Oh, that just animates junk.
Like, that could be its power. It can
Right.
animate.
It makes
Yeah.
like your land or a non-creature permanent, like a creature permanent that has a bunch of text on it. That's makes it strong.
Makes it menacing.
Yeah, it makes it an 8/8 that taps your opponent's shit whenever you sneeze.
To it was a 7/7.
Was it?
Yeah. For context, I and one of my other friends theory crafted a deck where you mutate onto what's it called, Sorcerer's Broom, and then you play things that sacrifice themselves, and then you can copy your mutates. So I made a bunch of archipelagors and kept mutating things onto them and tapping down all of Joel's stuff.
It hurt. My deck was going off too. I was making a lot of angels with divine whatever. What's that card?
Divine Visitation.
Yeah, divine visitation makes all
Yeah.
your tokens 4/4 angels.
Mm-hmm.
You tapped them all down.
I did.
I don't know how you did that, but
Lots of archipelagors.
Or like art broom.
yeah. So Archipelagor, it taps a creature, or it taps like X creatures down each time it was mutated or something. And
Yeah,
each
so it's
mutated stack of it like does it.
yep. So
When you mutate the second Archipelagor onto it,
right, it
taps
doubles the
two-
amount of things you're tapping.
yeah, so it taps 2 creatures down twice and they don't untap.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That's why I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't realize it was like scaling like that.
Yeah, two archipelagors stacked on top of each other is
Ooh.
something else.
Yeah, it was. You were doing Zubera math.
I was.
You've gotta read the Magna Carta in the text box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not reading that. I'm just gonna keep making angels and hope it works out.
Like, you gotta scroll down.
Yeah. It's like, yep, that's a lot of text.
You gotta read the EULA.
Yeah.
Yola.
Yeah. I feel like even if I did, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of that game.
Not really.
You gotta kill that thing on sight.
Yeah. I don't think I had removal.
That deck didn't feel like it had removal.
It did. I think when I looked at 4 cards or whatever, I took the divine visitation over the piece of removal that I saw.
Okay.
I was like, yep, that's what I want. But yeah, it's probably does lend itself to a commander set. There's like, it's very like main character versus like important villain
Mhm.
type show. It's very big boy shonen type universe
Oh yeah.
where big strong boys fight out other big strong boys and their pets. So it lends itself to a commander set more than like a multi-factional,
Standard something or other.
standards legal set.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you like it being like partners where you just have like the stand and the stand user in the command zone, or you have one in the command zone and maybe a couple different guys in the deck or something, or vice versa?
What I'm picturing is some like combination of companion and partner.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need the dude to get the stand. So like
Hmm.
stand is just somewhere else. it's outside the game.
Right.
And say the dude that's your commander or whatever, and they go and grab the stand. If like the stand and the person, if you had the option, you would never cast the dude properly.
I do like that, actually. I think that's a lot cleaner. Like Commander's a 99 card format. You start tutoring for your stand or whatever all the time, or having a choice of a bunch of stands in your deck, or it makes the game like clunkier. But if you just have like a specific guy outside the game that you know you're getting, that's better usually. Even if it doesn't, like, if card stand user A doesn't have to just specifically get stand B, like if it has a choice, but if you've made the choice before the game starts, like that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Even if there's some kind of limitation. How much do you like the stand user having other card texts on it besides "go get the stand"? And
I like that because there are some users that are special, like they can do things on their own.
I wouldn't mind putting just like an evergreen keyword on them or something.
Yeah, like they could totally have abilities.
Yes, 1/1 trample.
Like the monkey would have reach.
Yeah, like 1/1 death touch that gets a guy is cool because like you can trade off, or it makes more decisions for you trade off 2 things for whatever you're blocking or something.
Sure, yeah.
But Abdul, I think that's my favorite character so far. He's like a fortune teller, and he like has a phoenix guy stand that's just a firebird that shoots fire. But he's also like smart and I guess does fortune telling stuff. And I don't know how you would make like
Sometimes, yeah. He could scry.
Yeah, he could scry. I don't know how that like synergizes at all with like a firebird man that shoots fire. You could work out something, or maybe it just doesn't, and it just has the stand stand user just like provides extra value of some kind.
Yeah, like it's a body. User can have abilities and like that card can do things, but like stand should be like the focal point.
Yeah.
The stand is doing all the work.
One thing I do like that could work in the case of Abdul, because if we're making the stands planeswalkers, they have multiple abilities. So they could have like a signature move or something. Like I don't remember what the Firebird man's signature move is.
It made like fire onks.
Fire. Oh,
Like-
okay.
Like Egyptian onk. It could like shoot him at people.
You could have one ability that just like does the signature move thing. Like that one just does X damage divided as you choose or something like that. And then its other move could be like if Abdul is a fortune teller that scries, then Magician Red, the stand's other ability, could be like a impulsive draw mechanic where you like flip over the top card and you can play it that turn or something. Yeah, so it could have like a synergizing ability and a signature move. I think that would be cool. I don't know.
Okay, so I was trying to think of like what Star Platinum would do, Otaro's stand. I was trying to think like the best way to represent lots of punching. And so like my idea was like it's like a planeswalker, whatever, and it can become a creature. So like Gideon, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And would have first strike, probably.
Yeah.
And so fight something, you could remove loyalty counters to have it like deal additional first strike damage.
Like first or strike damage, or
So it doesn't move to normal damage. It just like deals first strike damage again.
okay.
So it's not double strike. It's like first strike with like an X. You can just do it as many times as you want, however many like loyalty count. You can just like machine gun down something that you've like fought.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want it to be like a pinger.
Yeah.
It's not a pinger. It's
Okay. But it like it can deal extra damage like it's a white ability kind of, so it can deal extra damage to a creature that it's in combat with or that is in combat.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
like if it's fighting something, it can hit it a lot before the other thing has a chance to like hit back.
Yeah, I like that.
I really had a hard time finding like a clean way to represent that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the best I've got. I don't know how you're how you should template that.
I like the idea of him having some kind of like resilience. I don't really know what his character trait is exactly, besides like being kind of a jerk, good at fighting people and like not dying. Maybe some kind of like he takes damage or he can do something to like regain loyalty counters on his stand or something.
Could have some plus ability or
Like maybe he can tap him to prevent X damage to a creature or planeswalker, and then for each damage prevented that way, you can put a loyalty or +1 counter on it or something. That sounds a little busted.
banned.
Banned. Yeah.
Immediately banned.
Yeah. Maybe he can only target him or himself. I don't know. Any kind of final thoughts? I don't know, random off topic thing.
Well, on topic, I think I was pretty skeptical of the concept of what Spencer was trying to accomplish, but after talking about it, I'm actually kind of excited to explore it a little bit more.
I like the extra deck kind of planeswalker friend.
They're already like moving in that space, so it makes sense that we could also do that.
It's companion. I didn't think about companion.
Everyone's stand right now is Luris.
It's the big Kraken dude.
This is the cat.
Luris is good. No, the 6 mana even one, the one that makes all your deck even, is winning a lot of legacy things online.
Wow.
He got temporarily banned because Leyline of the Void was incorrectly stopping the ability from happening.
What does that one do? Does that one just get stuff back from the graveyard or something?
6 mana, 6/6. If it's your companion, your whole deck has to be even converted mana cost.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or when it enters the battlefield, each player mills the top 6 cards of their deck, and then you put a creature with an even converted mana cost onto the battlefield. People are playing clones and spark doubles and Kolagon to give everything haste, and then punching.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's in Legacy. You can basically turn 0 people because the deck is playing Leyline of Anticipation to give everything flash, and then you can flash in 2 LEDs and then discard your whole hand, play your companion before your opponent can do anything.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's wild. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's like companion and LED are like super busted. There's a new turn 1 kill you can do in the Storm deck because of Luris, because it makes LED a free roll. It's like literally exists as an 8th card in your hand for Storm count, and that's the only reason the kill works. It's just 0 mana, do nothing, and that's it.
Wow.
Companion would be Kosh Obosh.
Which one's that?
Black red one. Like doubles damage you deal.
That guy's sick. You like beat somebody's ass with that guy in a limited game, didn't you?
That was in my Jund deck. I had Obosh, had Ori, the black green one. I had Wood Crasher, which is an odd mana creature.
What does that one do?
So it's a trample, 5 mana, 6/6 trampler.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a creature with trample deals damage to an opponent, you make an XX token with trample, where X is the amount of damage you dealt.
Oh. Gross.
It's absurd.
You also, or what was it? You had the golem that gets keywords, right? Or ability counters.
Oh, the crystalline giant.
Might have had that one too.
I just saw you like, what was it, double strike? Or not double strike, but he had flying, so you just was 6ing him every turn.
Oh, yeah.
Like, geez, what are you doing?
Obosh.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the companions that hard. I don't know if I have like a specific one that I like a lot.
They are hella broken.
If I had to guess one like off the bat, I like the one that just taps for 5 and lets you cast Niv Mizzet Reborn easier. I also kind of like the Otter that makes you play Singleton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could do Singleton Storm or something.
Pretty cute.
Find your one of Grape Shot or one of Tendrils and make another one. I guess that doesn't work that well with Storm if you just copy one of them.
You don't really want to have Singletons in the Storm deck.
Be a neat challenge.
Okay.
Yep.
Let us wrap it up.
Well, take us away.
Who? Me? You?
Just do what you did last time.
Thanks for listening. See you next time. Goodbye. That works.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. You sound far away again.
Me
You sound good right now.
right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my mic's backwards.
I
I forgot. Maybe he has some kind of Aura Shards ability or something.
hate that card so much.
Yeah, that card's bullshit.